Students in Russellville are celebrating a big win. The Belgreen High School Senior Scholars Bowl team buzzed their way to the top spot in the state scholastic competition earlier this month. They won the Class 1A division for the second year in a row and are now headed to the national competition.
The Huntsville City Council considering a plan to bring 6 Food City grocery stores to the Huntsville area. And coming up, the Huntsville Mayor's reaction to this proposed development.
Round 1 of the Hometown Lenders Championship was a bust due to the rain. The forecast looking better for Friday for any of your outdoor plans. We'll take a closer look coming up next.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching Way 31 News with Dan Schaefer, Nakel Williams, Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust, Sports Director Nolan Knight, and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Happening now, the Huntsville City Council is considering plans to bring a major grocery chain to Huntsville. This is a live look, or we were going to have a live look. I apologize, we don't have that live look for you. But Virginia-based company Food City wants to build 6 stores in the Rocket City. And Way 31's Matt Paskowitz joins us live from Huntsville right now. Now, Matt, if approved, those stores are expected to bring more than 1,000 jobs to the area.
Hey Dan, that point exactly. There is a lot of excitement building up over this possible development, and Food City said they're committing $90 million towards building 6 of their grocery stores here in the Huntsville area in a 2-phase plan. Now, the first phase would include building the stores along the North Memorial Parkway, Highway 72 East, and Highway 431 in Hampton Cove, with the second phase then having stores built off of Alabama Highway 53, Jordan Lane near I-565, and then one near the Mazda Toyota plant in the western part of the town. And inside each of these stores would be a full meat and seafood department, a pharmacy, and a Starbucks. Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle said he believes the project would be very beneficial for the city.
I think we're being able to provide food in places that were food deserts before, places where there wasn't that much of a capacity to provide groceries, to provide all that you need. We're able to provide that, and also it's a great economic boom for the city.
And the city is offering up to $9 million as tax breaks as incentives to help move this thing forward. But before any of this can move forward in the future, the Huntsville City Council, who are right now in their meeting, have to approve this decision. And we will keep you informed on air and online of the latest developments about these Food City grocery stores at WayTV.com. Reporting live in Huntsville, I'm Matt Paskowitz, Way 31 News.
Thanks, Matt. Active duty service members, armed forces reserves, and their families can get into Huntsville's Panoply Arts Festival for free tomorrow. It's part of the Military Salute Night, which honors the sacrifices of the uniformed men and women living in our community. Tomorrow's events will start at 5 at Big Spring Park. Fireworks start at 9 to wrap up the evening.
Weather coverage you can count on with Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Another overcast and wet day across North Alabama. That's kept our temperatures in the 60s. We are likely going to stay cloudy tonight, but I am hopeful we'll finally get some sunshine to return by this time tomorrow. Right now on the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network, we have some spotty showers clearing out of Jackson County, a little bit of very light rain moving into Lincoln County, Tennessee, moving out of Limestone and Madison counties. That is really about it right now. It has stayed fairly quiet from this afternoon through this early evening, but we may not be done with the wet weather just yet. Looking to our west, we have several clusters of thunderstorms that have developed over the past several hours, each of which are potentially severe. One here in east central Mississippi, another one close to Memphis, Tennessee, and then one final cluster back toward Arkansas. All of those are going to generally be drifting eastward as we move through the evening, so we'll be keeping an eye on their track. The severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect does not include our viewing area, but it is in effect for much of North Mississippi into western parts of Alabama. It does also include Marion and Winston counties, so there is at least a slim chance those strongest storms will move into parts of our area, but the bigger threat likely stays to our south and to our west. Now, if we do happen to get strong storms to develop, this is what we're watching out for. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, hail up to quarter size. The tornado threat is very low in our area tonight. Thank goodness for that, especially considering that today is the 12-year anniversary of the April 27th outbreak of 2011. Now, future radar shows we will see an increase in scattered showers and storms across the area as the evening wears on. The first area that could see strong storms is around Muscle Shoals, say around 9 or 10 o'clock. That could be a possibility. Hit and miss showers and storms remain possible through the late evening. Overnight tonight, we'll see that gradually clear to the east. I think by about 3 a.m. we're done with that storm threat, and we'll see a gradual drying trend late tonight with just some spotty showers lingering for your morning drive on Friday. A couple spots may get upwards of an inch of rain tonight. Most of you are not going to get nearly that much. It just depends on where exactly those strong storms develop. Here's some great news. Again, we are finally expecting sunshine to return by this time tomorrow. That's right in time for night one of Panoply. Temperatures will fall from the 70s to the 60s throughout the evening. Should be very nice and comfortable as that festival gets going on Friday. Here's a look at future radar for tomorrow. Cloudy skies early, gives way to some sun by the afternoon. One last chance at spotty showers through the early afternoon. That will finally clear out by dinner time on Friday. From that point through the daytime on Saturday, we're going to get a dry, much needed dry break, but one last push of rain will be possible on Saturday night. That's going to be most likely south of the Tennessee River, but we could see at least some brief showers pass through Huntsville from Saturday night through early Sunday. That then quickly clears out as we head into Sunday afternoon with sunshine returning as we wrap up the weekend. Warmer temperatures on the horizon. We climb to the low and mid 70s on Friday, including 74 in Huntsville. Mid to upper 70s expected on Saturday. Cold front knocks us back down near 70 for your highs on Sunday. 7-day forecast looking good to go if you like dry weather. A lot of sunshine coming our way for the first half of next week, and high temperatures staying steady in the upper 60s to the 70s.
And after months of planning and excitement for the Korn Ferry Tour event in Huntsville, Mother Nature has pushed back the first round of the Hometown Lenders Championship.
And now, sports coverage you can count on with Sports Director Nolan Knight.
Well, it looks like golf fans here in Huntsville have to wait a little longer to see the Korn Ferry Tour tee off in the Rocket City, as the first round of the Hometown Lenders Championship has been suspended due to the weather that plagued us all day long. For more on what the tournament is planning, we'll send it to Max Cohan.
After a morning full of delays, the Korn Ferry Tour has opted not to play the first round of the Hometown Lenders Championship on Thursday, citing weather, specifically dense fog, as a concern. But officials tell me they still plan to play 4 rounds of golf and finish on Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mother Nature wasn't our friend today, and as you can look back right behind you on 18, that dense fog really gave us some challenges today. And from the safety of the players, the fans, the volunteers, and everybody else on site, it was a difficult decision to make, but we'll restart tomorrow morning and hopefully get some golf in then.
Thursday's opening round was slated to tee off at 6:25 this morning, but was pushed back hour by hour until eventually reaching 1:25 in the afternoon, at which point tournament organizers decided to postpone the first round.
Right now, we're going to start round 1 tomorrow morning at 6:25 a.m. The original tee time today get in as much golf as possible, and then make a decision on the next rounds depending on whether upon completion tomorrow.
And while the plan is still to play all 72 holes, Mother Nature can be quite unpredictable this time of year, and we'll just have to wait and see what the forecast holds. Reporting at the Ledges, Max Cohan, Way 31 Sports.
Yeah, over at Whitesburg Christian Academy today, the rain did not spoil the celebration as another Whitesburg Christian athlete signed his national letter of intent to continue his academic and athletic career. John David Lucer became just the second Whitesburg Christian football player to sign to play at the next level, signing to play linebacker at Birmingham Southern for the next 4 years. And after signing in front of his friends and family, for him to see this moment and his dream come true was really a remarkable moment for the senior, and to finally put pen to paper was a weight off his shoulders.
It's been, the recruitment process, talking to coaches, and just trying to find the right school has been a long process. So it just feels very relieving to find the right place. And I love everything about Birmingham Southern, the culture and football and just the academics as well. So I'm really excited to be here.
And tonight right here on Way 31, the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft is set to take place, and we have a really good chance to see two Alabama players go first and second overall. The 2021 Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young is the odds-on favorite to be drafted first overall to the Carolina Panthers. If he is, he'll become the first Crimson Tide player to go number one since 1948 when Harry Gilmer went number one to Washington. And don't be surprised if former Alabama linebacker DeMeco Ryans drafts two-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year in Will Anderson Jr. at number 2. Those guys almost guaranteed top 5 picks, while running back Jahmyr Gibbs and safety Brian Branch could very well hear their names called tonight in Kansas City as well. Coverage from the draft on ABC begins at 7 o'clock Central. And finally, in some massive Alabama news, the Crimson Tide might have gotten their biggest commitment of the year, as today former Notre Dame quarterback Tyler Buchner will be headed to Alabama. Buchner announced his decision on Twitter today, and his signing fills a prominent role in the Alabama quarterback room. He'll join his old offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, who recruited him at Notre Dame. Saban offered Buchner out of high school to see the two reunited in Tuscaloosa is unique. And after seeing Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson in spring practice, it's clear there is no clear starter going into fall camp as the Tide prepare for Middle Tennessee State this fall. That'll do it for sports tonight at 6. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from the leaders of the Auburn Tigers as they come to town for Auburn Ambush.
Final look at the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Fairly quiet across North Alabama, but we do have strong storms in Mississippi that could be heading our way later on tonight. Make sure to stay tuned through the night. We're looking at quieter conditions as we approach the weekend.
Way 31 gives you 24/7 coverage you can count on, including severe weather. Watch us on all of our streaming platforms. We'll see you back here at 10.
We are rolling. Rolling. Okay. 3, 2. The latest on tonight's severe weather threat tonight after the draft. Okay. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2. The latest on our severe weather threat after the draft. Okay. In 3, 2. The latest on North Alabama's severe weather threat tonight after the draft. All right, let me put up something new. Okay, 3, 2. The latest on our storm potential through the night, coming up after the draft. Okay. All right, and here we go in 3, 2. I'm WAY 31 Chief Meteorologist Taylor Knust. Coming up tonight, I'll be tracking strong storms moving across North Alabama. Severe thunderstorm watch is ongoing across parts of Mississippi and western parts of Alabama. We do have a low-end threat for severe storms in the northern part of the state as well, with large hail and damaging winds both a possibility. As we get to the late night and Friday morning, things will start to dry out, and we are looking ahead to some sunshine as we wrap up the work week. I'll have a sneak peek of your weekend forecast coming up tonight.
Why?
February, March, April, May, June, July.
I hear babies. Mecca Music. With your top headlines, I'm Mecca Music.
The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed. The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host, and you can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville and from 10 until noon on Talk 995 in Birmingham. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is with 256today.com. She is the CEO, Smart News for Smart People. We've got a great show for you today. Tim Melton will be with us. He is my co-host down in Birmingham. We'll talk with him about a couple things going on around the state and nationally. I have got a parting shot with an idea for a bill for the Alabama legislature because they need some help. I'm willing to help them. We're going to talk about them a lot here today. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, let's talk a little bit about this grocery tax. It looks like it is going to move forward. The bill is going to be a little different than we originally expected here. All 35 members of the Senate have signed on board to a plan that Will Ainsworth, the lieutenant governor, is pushing. And it looks like we are going to see this happen. The rebate check, forget about that. No one's even talking about that right now, but they are completely uncoupled at this point. There's no rebate check. We're talking instead possibly about having just this grocery tax cut. And what I find interesting about it is they went with a broader definition for food. They went with a very broad, like basically anything you put in your mouth that isn't cigarettes,
tobacco,
alcohol, cocaine.
They went with the SNAP definition over the WIC definition, which I thought was a smart move. Yep. The other thing is, I think Ainsworth has made a believer out of me. How long have we talked about this? But to hear him get up, make the arguments, make the speech, and really back this up, I think it might happen. What about you?
Yeah, no, he is someone who is out there saying, look, I'm going to be a lieutenant governor who is more active than the actual governor. Mm-hmm. The actual governor on a bunch of things, and we're going to talk about school choice and a bunch of other things that she says she supports. Where is she? And I don't mean that like a ha-ha.
There have been criticisms that if this is your agenda and these are your goals, you need to stand up and support them, fight for them, and move it forward.
And if you talk to legislators, it's not as if she's operating some sort of clandestine lobbying situation. She is non-existent in this. She'll show up for the signings and things like that.
I haven't heard non-existent.
They're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of debates inside the caucus.
Grocery tax.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, she's non-existent into the conversation. It's unfortunate. She should be out there, especially because they're picking up wins.
Well, not only that, though, but listen, that's her proposal to do the tax rebates.
Well, that's an L. So maybe that's why she's staying away from that one. So that, she's not. That's a loss.
Hey, a lot of lawmakers have said they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
I have my doubts. You have your doubts. But
how many of them are they going to do? Like, can they do them both? This one seems like a big swing. They're doing it. They're moving, and it wasn't really getting talked about before the session, and it came out of nowhere. and here it is.
Some people were talking about
Right.
it. We talked about Daniels has consistently beaten on that.
Sure.
Anthony Daniels has
I'm
kept
talking.
it going.
I'm talking about it in a way that was going to get 35-0 in the Senate.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
really.
I mean-
And I think that signifies that there is this widespread support, and this actually has a chance to go all the way, y'all.
Yeah, they got the money, so let's go ahead and do it. I think it'll be fun when it dies in the House. All right, so let's talk about the debt ceiling here for a second. This one will start in the United States House and then die in the Senate. There is a plan here. We're going to cut $4 trillion in spending in order to raise the debt limit even higher above the $31 trillion and all this other stuff. So Kevin McCarthy got his deal done. He got all the Republicans on board except for 4 of them. One of them was Matt Gaetz, who came out and said, I had voted for this tomorrow. I just didn't like the procedural stuff. So most Republicans were on board with this. Oddly enough, I talked with Congressman Mo Brooks, the former congressman from the 5th Congressional District this week. And I said, would you been on board with this? And he's like, absolutely. I would have been on board with it. I would have gone along with this, mostly because this is not going, these are not his exact words. I'm paraphrasing here, and I'm kind of offering up my own thoughts too. This is not what the end is going to look like.
No.
This is about
No.
saying to Joe Biden, come out of your basement. If you see your shadow, do not go back in. Come out of the basement, and you operate in good faith and negotiate with us.
Well, he's already said that he plans to veto this if it were possible to pass both chambers.
Like if Chuck Schumer had like a giant episode and accidentally put this up, and other people had episodes and voted for it, and it got through, because this is going to die there in the Senate. And I'll tell you why I know it's going to die in the Senate. Here's the key part of all of it. You have people like Karine Jean-Pierre and Joe Biden, even in his announcement of running for president, which nobody cares about. Tucker Carlson getting fired was a bigger story this week than that.
Well, that is a really big story, though. I mean,
It should be bigger than the president,
Okay,
89 years old, running for re-election or whatever he is.
that's fair.
But the point is, if this were to get close to being passed, you'd hear Joe Biden saying, they're going to melt your bones. I mean, Karine Jean-Pierre said at a press conference that Republicans want to make your kids sick and melt your bones. And literally, that's what they said. And I think they would have come down on this particular piece of legislation the same way. And so this is the starting point for a conversation.
Okay.
A negotiation, if you
Okay.
will. Okay. So they'll melt your bones.
That's a good one.
Watch out.
That's a good one.
Watch out. All right. Let's talk about education. Something happened this week in education that I love. Terry Collins, a Republican from Decatur, offered up a year-round schooling bill. And I love it for a couple of reasons. One, summer brain drain is a very bad thing. Two, imagine Grant not being at my house all the time. It would be even better. And three, if I can't have school choice, I want year-round school. Joke's on me. Can't have school choice or year-round school
Okay,
in
also
this
food
legislative session.
insecurity is also a big issue for year-round school. A lot of times, providing those meals, the meals that you get at school, are the most dependable meals that a lot of students, unfortunately, are able to receive. So that is one more in favor of year-round school.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, the feeding program, like the trough, and they all come and eat it at the trough. I think that's a great idea. But listen, under your argument, or not your argument, but under that point, let me just say, I agree with that. And there should be more than year-round school. Keep them coming in more often. If you're going to have to feed them, at least teach them something in the process. But the camera conversation on there says cameras.
Yes.
State Senator Arthur Orr has a bill. If you have so many developmentally delayed or special needs kids in a classroom, there has to be a camera that records going. Who's against that? I think, I mean, it would have to be like the AEA. They don't want cameras in there watching what they're doing, which is weird. I mean, why are you against this? All three of those things that are listed there, choice, year-round schooling, cameras, all seem DOA. Why?
A multitude of reasons, but tell me your why, because that's obviously going somewhere.
Well, my on choice, they screwed us. It's so hard.
Listen, I told you from the beginning this wasn't going to happen. You
It's the way they did
act
it.
surprised.
It's the way they did it. They put it in one committee, the Committee on Policy, Education Policy.
It was never
They
going to
did
get done.
all the markups. They did the public hearing. At the end of the public hearing, the guy's like, "You should probably go over to the Taxation Committee."
Yes.
And now,
It's never gonna
now
happen.
we're going to run out of time. That's what's going to happen. These other ones, I think, are far-fetched. I think the camera one could possibly become a thing. I don't see any reason why that would be a no.
No. And Collins, I mean, it wasn't just year-round.
It was adding 30 days to give them the right to go year-round and stuff like that, to give them the option to do so. But then you could do year-round without adding any days if you wanted to. But the answer is more schooling. I'm sorry, it just is. And I heard Phil Williams, the talk shows, and Jeff Poor, talk shows, both say to me, "Oh, you just want the government to raise these people's kids." And I'm just like, yeah, that might be right. That might be right. Get those kids away from their parents. That might be a good idea. All right. Lastly, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Ron DeSantis. I was going to stop on the way here today and get a pudding cup and have Mecca describe and show you how Ron DeSantis was described eating pudding. And
I absolutely would not have partaken in that. I 100% would not have been part of this.
Okay.
This video gives me such
so gross.
the ick. I cannot.
It's an attack ad from Trump, the Trump world, against Ron DeSantis about some story he ate pudding with his fingers once.
The pudding cups.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's familiar with the pudding cups, which are gross enough anyway, but now imagine eating them with their fingers. Now, this ad actually has an actor
doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Okay. Then they have Disney suing DeSantis, and you got Trump pounding on DeSantis all the time. He's supposedly going to come out in May and say, okay, I'm going to run for office or run as president or something, which is a couple days away in next month. He's going to do this. Is he taking too many hits before the start, which is exactly Trump's plan here? I'm going to pound away on you and knock you down, and when you get in, it won't matter. Has that been effective?
I mean, I honestly, I can't think of him right now without thinking of the pudding cup ad. So I'm so mad at whoever came up with that. Oh, that's so gross. I'm so mad at whoever came up with this ad, but also, like, that was brilliant because you're just immediately like, oh.
You know, if I was Donald,
what kind of monster would do that?
If I was Donald Trump, I don't know if I would want to be putting out ads about the little foibles and things like that people have, because he has a lot of them.
Oh,
I mean,
so many,
he really does
so
have
many.
a lot. Like I might show an ad where he's sitting on a white couch and he gets up and he leaves his hair there,
or the orange tan,
or the orange tan, or
tan.
something stupid like that. I mean, you open up the door for this. I want to go to the Disney thing here real quick. Ron DeSantis is being sued by Disney. They're saying, oh, we have constitutional rights. And I love watching the media and their Democrats say, oh, yeah, they're violating their constitutional rights. So I just want to make sure I understand this. Corporations have constitutional rights now, which seemed like a big deal when Mitt Romney suggested it. Also, suing Ron DeSantis over this is pretty interesting. The legislature gave them their special district and took it away. It had nothing to do with the actual governor. He just signed the bill.
So, okay, tell me how you feel then about this Disney fight. Has it helped DeSantis?
Oh, God. He's fighting woke Disney? Yes, it's great.
Right.
Let the war go on forever.
Okay. So them suing him, you think helps him as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, Nikki Haley came out the other day and said, oh, move Disney to South Carolina. Okay, do you really think that, A, Disney's going to move Space Mountain? I don't think that's going to happen. And B, did she talk to anyone in South Carolina? Because what they're mad at Disney about is the way they tried to interfere in their education system. And I don't think the people in South Carolina are like, yeah, come and do that kind of stuff. So I don't see that being a smart move. But DeSantis is in trouble. I mean, I think he is.
It's the pudding cup.
He's damaged. That's the least of it. That's just the visual there that you have. When we come back, Tim Melton will be with us. He's a talk show host out of Birmingham on Talk 99.5. We'll talk about some of these stories and more. Stay tuned. Tim Melton.
Bill Jackson, it is
Hey, Tim,
always
can you
a
hear
pleasure
me?
to speak to you. Macca, I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing better than Richard Dixon.
Okay. Hey, was Damian Mitchell mad at me this morning?
No.
Okay, all right. Hey, he's like, you're a professional hater. And I was like, damn, was that like, maybe I'm just being a little sensitive. We're ready to go.
There's probably